Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama. Hare Rama Free. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Chaitanya, Nityananda, the microphone thing in here. Hare Krishna. Krishna. Hare Rama. Rama Hare. Hare Krishna. Krishna. Govinda. Do you want to come on camera? Say hello. Krishna. Hare Krishna. You still there? Here we go. Give us a report from your neck of the woods. Hare Krishna. What's going on over there? Hare, what's happening with you? Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Hare. I was just considering how it's not like the material world is going to end. It's manifest and it's unmanifest, but it's Krishna's illusory energy, and it's always going to be there, either manifest or unmanifest. And it's like if there's a government and they need a prison house because there are some citizens who are going to be causing a huge disturbance for everyone else and themselves. So they have to be restrained and hopefully rectified, their consciousness rectified, their behavior rectified, mostly their consciousness rectified. The behavior follows after that. So there's always going to be the material world because it's manifest sometimes and then unmanifest and then manifest again and then unmanifest. It has to be there. It's like the prison house with the government. So similarly, the Vaikuntha planets, they're always going to be there. Even more so, because they're never unmanifest. The Vaikunthas are always manifest. Because it's actually a spiritual energy of the Lord. Spiritual energy manifests that way, like the mood of Vaikuntha on reverence. So it's never going to not exist. There's a need for it. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Just like there's a need for the prison house, for the Hare Krishna, for those that cause the disturbance, well, there's a need for the Vaikuntha planets, for those that want to serve in that way. They qualify by their mood of approaching the Lord in that mood, so there's facility, because Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, he fulfills the desires of all. As they approach me, I reward them accordingly. So it's not like it's never not going to exist. The path of regulated service and the path of rules and regulations, and with the goal being the Vaikunthas, is always going to exist. It's just what do you want? Do you want that? If you hear about something else, you hear about the spontaneous mood of Vraj Leela from someone who's absorbed in Vraj Leela and has the authorization of the spiritual masters in the cyclic succession to present this, make it available to others, and to broadcast the availability, make it available, then by hearing about that abode of the Lord, then you can go there. Begin to desire, begin to want to go there. But it's not like these things are ever not going to exist. They're all manifestations of Krishna, the material world, the Brahmajyoti, the Vaikunthas, and then the ultimate destination, which is being made available in the recent incarnation of the Lord, Lord Chaitanya, with his desire to taste prema bhakti and establish worship of himself in that mood. They all exist eternally. They're all part of Krishna. It's not like anything's bad. It just is what it is. Now, the main thing is, where does the individual want to go? How do they want to relate to Krishna, hearing all these things? Hare Krishna, Hare. If they want to go, if they're in the prison house, then if they follow the rules and regulations of the prison house and they show good behavior, they show rectification, they can be released. If they have some desire to be released, there are a lot of prisoners who don't want to be released because they're familiar with the prison house, they know what it is, they've spent a lot of time in there, they've got it down, all their basics, they have their social structure within the prison, and they don't want to leave. They wouldn't know what to do if they were freed from the prison house. There's a lot of cases like that. Because they're lost in the world, because that's become their world. The material world is their world. So there's that, and they can stay there. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So a person can stay in the illusory energy lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. But if they reach a point where they realize that they're not really happy and that they're hearing about or they're remembering to one degree or another that there is freedom outside, there's blue skies, there's birds chirping, there's entertainment, there's freedom to eat and do what you want to do, make your own path in life within certain guidelines. There's always, it's not complete freedom, but it's much more freedom of expression, and you don't have somebody standing over you every minute like that, exerting their authority over you and making it known every minute, although there is authority every minute, but it's a little different experience. It's closer to feeling free. Then they may even desire that, want to get out of the prison house. They may not be very happy in there. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So there may, like person in the illusory energy, they may be feeling that same kind of thing that the person in the prison house who's not happy in there feels. They feel so restricted, and they're not happy with the quality of association with others, and they hanker for something more. So they may desire liberation, which would take them could take them to the Brahmajyoti. Or there are other types of liberation, not necessarily just all one kind of liberation. There are other types. to have the same bodily features as the Lord, to live on one of the Vaikuntha planets with the Lord. There's different types of liberation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. But the Lord is sending representatives to help people, because you never go there under your own steam. To get out of the prison house, you have to get the well-wishers. You have to take guidance and well-wishing from the prison authorities. And the warden ultimately gives you his pardon, gives you a pardon if you qualify. So you have to serve like that under the direction of authority. And then even to gain liberation, you don't do it under your own steam completely. There's the scriptures, there's the saintly persons, the most recent Acharya, Shankaracharya, delineating the path of impersonal liberation, like that. So similarly, for going back to or entering the Vraj environment, there is going to be authorities that will help. They're empowered by Krishna, they're sanctioned by Krishna for that specific purpose, to guide those that have a desire to enter the Vraj Leela. Spontaneous devotion to the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna, personal relationship where the Lord is present, is aware of the Lord's presence within the heart. And the Lord is also reciprocating with that devotee from within. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there are guides for that also. So that's why I like to hear from Srila Gaura Haridas. Because he's on that platform. And he's been sanctioned by the Disciplic Succession and by Srila Prabhupada to open this up. And I was thinking about the movement as it's been progressing. It's a very old movement. It goes all the way back to the Lord Brahma and the creation of the universe. But the most recent incarnation of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and how it's progressed through the most recent prominent figures in the disciplic succession, the direction they're all taking the movement in to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya to establish this prema bhakti. For an individual, it can happen just like that, but as a grand movement for the entire world, and actually the entire universe, really. And I was just reading that the Lord desires the entire material creation to experience this. That means all the universes. So, woo-woo, Hare Krishna. I talk about big, huh? This is big. The verse was, he wove this Krishna prema as a wreath around the entire material creation. So that's his desire. So the different acharyas, they have their challenges, how to keep pushing this forward. And it's just a natural progression. Like, the material world's not going to go away. It's there. It'll be manifest and unmanifest, but it's the illusory energy of the Lord, and it plays its function. The Vaikuntha planets, they're not going to go away. And they're populated, and there are people that are destined by their desire to enter that atmosphere. So they're not going to go away. It's just when someone hears from the bona fide representative of the Vraj Leela environment, the person that's absorbed in worship of that, and that environment of Vraj Leela, they manifest it wherever they go because they're absorbed in it, then they can desire to enter that. And these other things, they're going to stay. You're not going to, it's not like a protest thing, end this or end that, end child slavery, end cutting down the rainforest. It's not like that, End the rules and regulations. No. End the material world. No, it's not going to end. It's going to be there. It's just you don't have to be there. You don't have to be there. You don't have to be in that environment or that atmosphere. And that's transcendence, and ultimately the transcendence is this Vraj Lila. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. But so each representative, living representative of the disciplic succession has their challenge to push it forward in this direction of the Vraj Lila environment. And so we're very, very fortunate that we've got this great trooper, the real trooper, Srila Gaura Haridas, Hare Krishna, who's empowered to do this. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But these other things are not going to go away, and they're not bad. They just are what they are. They exist. They're part of Krishna, and there's a need for them, but we don't have to be there. No one has to actually be there, although there will always somebody be in the prison house, and the government has the prison house, right? There'll always be someone gets released, someone gets incarcerated. It's just going to happen. There was that pastime with, I think it was Vasudev Dutt, who was feeling so much intense compassion for the suffering of the living entities who are completely bound by the material modes and going through the cycle of birth and death over and over and over again. And he prayed that, let me take on myself all of their karma. Let me take it all and let them all go. Let them all be released. Which was a wonderful sentiment. It's beautiful. However, Lord Chaitanya advised him that that's good, even if the whole material world were vacated and everyone did go home, it would fill up again. It would just fill up again. Hare Krishna. So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. The best thing anyone can do is to actually live the truth themselves. Just to be absorbed completely in this surrender to the arrangement of the Lord to bring them into the Vraj Lila environment. Just surrender to it, and then the Lord takes over from there. Basically, in my experience now, is that everything else is simply a distraction. It's just a distraction. Because it's not by works, it's not by austerities, it's not by charity, it's not by any of these things that I myself will be able to enter into this environment. It's not by that. It's just by surrendering to the arrangement made by the Lord for me to enter. And that is hearing from and serving the anointed one. Now that's what Christ means, the anointed one. The anointed. Anointed by what? The salve of love. Lord Brahma talks about that, whose eyes are anointed. That's the anointing with the salve of love. Ecstatic love, ecstatic worship. So much so that the Lord within the heart is actually attracted, and his presence is there. He becomes joyful. The Lord becomes joyful to see the devotee experiencing his love. So, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Jeez, frog in my throat here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So I read a little something from Chaitanya Charitamrita. In the chapter 4 of the Adi Leela, and it's the text 137, getting toward the end of that chapter, the confidential reasons for Lord Chaitanya's appearance, incarnation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And there were three basic divisions that Krishnadas Kaviraj was describing of the mellows that the Lord was desiring to taste. The first, these were described in previous verses, was the Lord wanted to taste what Radharani tastes in separation from himself. He wanted to experience that because he saw that it was a magnified emotional experience, loving experience, more so than what he felt. So he was attracted. He wanted to, because he's the enjoyer. So, I want to enjoy that too. And the other, second, is that was Hare Krishna. Wait a minute, where am I? That seeing his own Hare Krishna, seeing his own beauty, he was attracted to tasting his own beauty. So as Radharani is attracted to his beauty and his sweetness. So the first was the mood of separation. Now the second, these are like subtle divisions of the mellows of wanting to experience what Radharani experiences, is to experience his form in his beauty. And I didn't mark down where we left off, so try to find. Then he concluded that in order to do that, he would have to take her position. Hare Krishna. So we're getting to the third reason. If I can find the verses now. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And then what Krishnadas Kaviraj does is he quotes verses from the 10th canto and from different Puranas and Rupa Goswami to support what he's saying. Hare Krishna. Okay, getting there. Hare Krishna. Okay, so those are the first two. Now, text 159, Krishnadas Kaviraj is going to go into more details. He's expanding out the meanings of these verses into more details about the third division of this. So text 159, this is the description of his second desire to taste his own sweetness, as Radharani tastes it. Now please listen as I describe the third. So now he's going to talk about the third one. This conclusion of Ras is extremely deep. Only Swarup Damodar knows much about it. And we read previously that Swarup Damodar is actually an incarnation of either Lalita or Vishaka, who was the intimate associate of Radharani. So he's to enhance Lord Chaitanya's wanting to experience what Radharani is experiencing. Lalita and Vishaka are there as Swarup Damodar to give him support. And Swarup Damodar was able to understand his mood because they're intimate associates of Radharani, and recite appropriate verses and sing songs to enhance his experience of trying to relish what Radharani experiences. So 161, anyone else who claims to know it must have heard it from him, for he was the most intimate companion of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. 162, the love of the gopis is called Rudabhav. It is pure and spotless. It is not at any time lust. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And read that again. The love of the gopis is called Rudabhav. It is pure and spotless. It is not at any time lust. Hare Krishna. So someone who is plagued by lust, they really need to hear these pastimes of the Lord so they can get that under control there. Not that they control it, but get it purified out. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Get free from that material contamination by hearing these ecstatic, intimate pastimes of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada's purport. As already explained, the position of the gopis in their loving dealings with Krishna is transcendental. Their emotion is called Ruda Bhav. Although it is apparently like mundane sex, one should not confuse it with mundane sexual love, for it is pure and unadulterated love of Godhead. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna is the highest thing in the spiritual world, because it's the material world's a reflection. When it's enacted in the illusory energy, is actually the lowest thing. Although it's experienced as wonderful in the material world, it's really not wonderful in the material world. Yeah. Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, text 163. The pure love of the gopis has become celebrated by the name lust. The dear devotees of the Lord, headed by Sri Uddhava, desire to taste that love. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The pure love of the gopis has become celebrated by the name lust. The dear devotees of the Lord, headed by Sri Uddhava, desire to taste that love. I want to look up the word lust. Sometimes, know what a word means, but then there's like more subtle. Let me go over here to the other computer here. Pull it up. Hare Krishna. Well, it's definitely connected to sex here. This is very strong sexual desire. That's the first. As a noun, and then as a verb, have a very strong sexual desire for someone. So, yeah, it's connected to that. It's like sex desire. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It's different. Everybody's got something to say about lust here. Okay, this is interesting. Someone breaks it down. They're probably a spiritualist here. say, lust versus love. Lust is an intense physical attraction. You desire your partner due to a strong sexual connection. Love is attraction and affection. It's easy to get caught up in the heady feelings of a new love interest and mistake your early feelings of lust for love. Okay, yeah, so it breaks it down like that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Okay, an intense feeling of deep affection, an intense desire or craving for gratification. When contrasted with love, lust usually means sex desire. Yeah, so it's connected to the material senses. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And so it appears, the attraction of the gopis for Krishna appears to be like that, desiring gratification, senses all agitated. But actually it isn't. Hare Krishna. It's completely pure. It has nothing to do with the material gratification. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And the dear devotees of the Lord, headed by Sri Uddhava, who was a resident of Dwarka, he desired to taste that love. It's a verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay. Okay, now Krishnadas Kaviraj is going to help us out with this. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Dinesh. Very well. Reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Text 164. Lust and love have different characteristics, just as iron and gold have different natures. Okay, here we go. Prabhupada's 2-sentence purport here. One should try to discriminate between sexual love and pure love, for they belong to different categories with a gulf of difference between them. They are as different from one another as iron is from gold. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Text 165. 65. The desire to gratify one's own senses is kama, lust. But the desire to please the senses of Lord Krishna is prema, love. So you have a few paragraph purport here. Read again. The desire to gratify one's own senses is kama, lust. But the desire to please the senses of Lord Krishna is prema, love. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, purport. The revealed scriptures describe pure love as follows. There's some Sanskrit here. And the translation is, if there is ample reason for the dissolution of a conjugal relationship, and yet such dissolution does not take place, such a relationship of intimate love is called pure. Wow. Whoa, Krishna, also unconditional. Is Lord Chaitanya, is unconditionally. You are my Lord, unconditionally. Treat me rough by your embrace, not present before me. You're still my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. So, translation of this verse doesn't say where it's from, but it says in the revealed scriptures. If there is ample reason for the dissolution of a conjugal relationship, and yet such a dissolution does not take place, that's intimate affection. intimate affection and attraction. Such a relationship of intimate love is called pure. Krishna, wow. See, parents have that kind of mood toward their children. That's not necessarily a conjugal mood, but even if the child is bad, they still love them. Why? Because they're their child. You know, the child causes all kinds of problems. It's their son or daughter, you know, and they have some natural affection for the son or daughter. Sometimes people disown their kids, but it's not. I rather doubt that can actually be done. People that do that, I believe, have just taken a very harsh stance. But I don't see how it's ever possible to disown a child completely. They may send them away, and, you know, whatever, but it's such a reality that they've, you know, given birth to a child. It's always going to be there to one degree or another. It can't ever get to the point where it never happened. So mostly parents, even if the child causes a lot of problems, they still have some loving desire for their welfare, and they're always their child, no matter how old they get, you know. The parent's like 98 and the kid's like 70, and he's still my child, you know. Yeah, I have experience of that. Yeah. The only way my father could relate to me is that I was his child, you know. He's like 98 and I was like 11, you know. Yeah, so in a conjugal relationship, it's magnified. This is much more intense. That if there is ample reason for the dissolution of that loving conjugal relationship, and yet such a dissolution does not take place, such a relationship of intimate love is called pure. The predominated gopis were bound to Krishna in such pure love. For them, there was no question of sexual love based on sense gratification. Their only engagement in life was to see Krishna happy in all respects, regardless of their own personal interests. They dedicated their souls only for the satisfaction of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. There was not the slightest tinge of sexual love between the gopis and Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's like, how is that possible? It's like, you know, how could that be possible? Because we read earlier that Krishna and the gopis, they enter into the same pleasure, and it's simultaneously they experience together. So satisfying Krishna, they're also satisfied because it's simultaneous. In the material world, it's reflected in the example of the tree, watering the root of the tree. And Krishna is like the root of the tree, and by offering or serving or loving Krishna, then all the leaves and branches flourish. So there's no need to like put water on each leaf. Just by loving and serving Krishna, then the whole tree flourishes. That's like reflected through the material energy. So the gopis, they enter into the same experience as Krishna. There's no need for any separate endeavor. They experience together. That's the intense intimacy of a relationship with Krishna, is simultaneously. Hare Krishna. By thinking of Krishna, there's no need to think of yourself separately from Krishna. Govinda. The author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita asserts with authority that sexual love is a matter of personal sense enjoyment. Separate. My enjoyment, my body, me, my. All the regulatory principles in the Vedas pertaining to desires for popularity, fatherhood, wealth, and so on are different phases of sense gratification. Acts of sense gratification may be performed under the cover of public welfare, nationalism, religion, altruism, ethical codes, biblical codes, health directives, fruit of action, bashfulness, tolerance, personal comfort, liberation from material bondage, progress, family affection, or fear of social ostracism or legal punishment, or Varnashram Dharma. But all these categories are different subdivisions of one substance. Hello? Sense gratification. All such good acts are performed basically for one's own sense gratification. For no one can sacrifice his personal interest while discharging these much advertised moral and religious principles. See, Chaitanya Charitamrita is the graduate study. It's the pinnacle. It's the culmination of it all, the ultimate goal. And here Prabhupada is, in his purports, he's supporting completely this goal, even though he was advocating, doing all these Varnashram Dharma and social structure. He was advocating all of that. Because it's, according to time, place, and circumstance, it's needed. Lord Chaitanya has also his external mission to establish the religion of the age. Here Prabhupada says religion is simply based on one's personal gratification. Practicing religion is just another form of one's personal gratification. Economic development, sense gratification, liberation, and religion. So Lord Chaitanya, one of the religion of the age is the Harinam Sankirtan. So that's there. That's not going to go away. That's there. But here Prabhupada is guiding the devotees to the ultimate reason, the ultimate goal, so that all of that can be transcended. When the devotee desires, and they desire by hearing from the proper source, the source that's authorized to present this path. Hare Krishna. But above all, this is a transcendental stage in which one feels himself to be only an eternal servitor of Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead. All acts performed in this sense of servitude are called pure love of God because they are performed for the absolute sense gratification of Krishna. However, any act performed for the purpose of enjoying its fruits or results is an act of sense gratification. Such actions are visible sometimes in gross and sometimes in subtle forms. Uh-oh. Freddie's got a comment. We were talking about sex. Oh, what's he going to do with us? Okay, Freddie. Haribol. If material sex is a reflection of the transcendental sex, then how can we understand this pure sex? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Well, the same way we understand material sex, by engaging in it, right? That's how we have experience of material sex is, we engage in it. Oh, okay, that's what that is, right? Well, this spiritual conjugal mood, by engaging in it, and that's how we understand it. We can hear about it and become attracted, but by engaging in it. And how do we engage in it? By the mercy of the spiritual master. He's guiding the devotees in entering this atmosphere of Ras. So the way we understand it is by experiencing it. We can hear about it, yeah, that's cool, and we become attracted, and then we follow in the way that's arranged for us by developing our relationship with Krishna under the guidance of someone who's already engaged in their rasic relationship with the Lord. I mean, that's what happens in rules and regulations. You have the spiritual master who guides the students and the disciples on the path of regulated devotional service. The same thing happens. That's how we understand it. At least that's my understanding, because that's what I'm experiencing. And it's supported by the scriptures, so here we go. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And the main thing Srila Gaura Haridas asks is just please keep hearing from him. Stay in touch. Just keep hearing and hearing. Associate with the devotees and do some service, whatever it might be. But hearing is service. Just by hearing is service. Hare Krishna, chanting. How do you get a chance to associate, in person? That's really good. But, just keep hearing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. And then the desire increases more and more for that relationship with the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Text 166. Yeah, I throw these tough ones at me. Hare Krishna. Gotta worm my way out of it, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay, 166. The object of lust is only the enjoyment of one's own senses. But love caters to the enjoyment of Lord Krishna. And thus it is very powerful. Yeah, I mean, the Lord is within the heart. I mean, if we really accept that He's there, right? He's actually there within the heart. So, it's not like, He's not aware of, our condition and our desires. And when we desire Him, then it's in proper perspective that the object of lust is only the enjoyment of one's own senses. The material senses. That's all. It's like, Hare Krishna, it's the material body. But the Lord is there. And the enjoyment of Lord Krishna, and thus it's very powerful. And it's a simultaneous experience. When Krishna is satisfied, the devotee is also entering into that same experience. It's a relationship. 167, 169. Social customs, scriptural injunctions, bodily demands, fruit of action, shyness, patience, bodily pleasures, self-gratification, and the path of Varnashram Dharma, which is difficult to give up. The gopis have forsaken all these, as well as their own relatives and their punishment and scolding for the sake of serving Lord Krishna. They render loving service to Him for the sake of His enjoyment. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. In other words, they surrender everything for Krishna in pure love. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. I'm going to read that again. Social customs, scriptural injunctions, bodily demands, fruit of action, shyness, patience, bodily pleasures, self-gratification, and the path of Varnashram Dharma, which is difficult to give up. The gopis have forsaken all of these, as well as their own relatives, and their punishment and scolding, for the sake of serving Lord Krishna. They render loving service to Him for the sake of His enjoyment. Hare Krishna. So we can see, this description fits Srila Gaura Haridas. They've given up social customs, Well, yeah. Both according to the movement standards and even regular standards. You know, he's not bound by any social customs. Scriptural injunctions. Well, yeah, not bound by that. Bodily demands. Pretty much. I mean, he's online like 24 hours a day chanting Hare Krishna. I mean, he's been wearing the same sweatshirt for the last 6 months. Fruit of action. Yeah, I mean, he's not at all interested in, you know, having some goal to achieve it other than being absorbed in glorifying the Lord and chanting Hare Krishna in ecstasy. I mean, he never even asked anybody of his followers for anything, pretty much. I mean, you know. Shyness. I wouldn't say he was particularly shy. Patience. He doesn't have a whole lot of that sometimes too. Bodily pleasures. No, I don't see him indulging in bodily pleasures. I don't see that. Self-gratification. Not the material self. Self-gratification. That he's always reminding himself and others that he's just the Lord within the heart is working through him, and it's not for his own. He doesn't want any, you know, anything for himself. The path of Varnashram Dharma. Now, forget that. He's not at all interested in taking part in that or promoting it. He's forsaken all of these, as well as his relatives. Yeah, well, and punishment and scolding for the sake of serving Lord Krishna. I don't know about all his relatives, but I know his wife, you know, does not accept what he's doing, and she's been gone for quite some time. And his brother also, I've seen, although his brother may be favorable from time to time, he's in and out, I've seen his brother scolding Srila Gaura Hari Das, considering him irresponsible and so on and so forth. So he's given up all of that for the sake of serving Lord Krishna. And they render service to Krishna for the sake of his enjoyment. And they laugh and cry while it's going on. Text 170. That is called firm attachment to Lord Krishna. It is spotlessly pure, like a clean cloth that has no stain. Prabhupada's purport. So one paragraph. The author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita advises everyone to give up all engagements of sense gratification, which she just listed in the last 2 verses. Like the gopis, and dovetail oneself entirely with the will of the Supreme Lord. That is the ultimate instruction of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender to me. We should be prepared to do anything and everything to please the Lord, even at the risk of violating the Vedic principles or ethical laws. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. That is the standard of love of Godhead. Such activities in pure love of Godhead are as spotless as white linen that has been completely washed. Now, we read in other verses that there are a lot of contradictions in Krishna consciousness. In Radharani, there are contradictory moods, and also in Krishna, there are contradictions. So this looks like a big contradiction, doesn't it? Against ethical standards, ethical laws, Vedic principles. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur warns us in this connection. Okay, help us out with this. That we should not mistakenly think that the idea of giving up everything implies the renunciation of duties necessary in relation to the body and mind. Even such duties are not sense gratification if they are undertaken in the spirit of service to Krishna. Yeah, that's false renunciation. Yeah. Like Prabhupada gave a little example. The impersonalist, if someone comes to him with a lot of money, the impersonalist will go, no, I renounce this. No. But the devotee, engaged in serving Krishna, someone comes with a lot of money, the devotee says, oh, hey, great, we'll use this for Krishna. Hare Krishna. That's real renunciation, is to use everything for Krishna. So the body, the mind, engage in Krishna's service and not falsely renounce. I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, therefore I'm not going to use them at all. No, it's a way to serve Krishna without being attached to enjoying for our own gratification whatever facilities might be coming, is that we use them to glorify Krishna. For Krishna's pleasure. Text 171. Oh, where's Freddie? Freddie's busy on the typewriter here. Do the transcendental bodies have genitals? Oh my word. Because male and female genders are there in the spiritual world. He's interested in the genitals of the spiritual body. Well, here's the thing. One thing that comes to mind is sakalendriya. Sakalendriya means every part of a spiritual body can perform the function of any other part. So try that one on for size. Be careful who you shake hands with in the spiritual world. Actually, it's kind of funny that Lord Brahma, what is it? Shook hands with Krishna. So, the eyes can eat, the nose can hear, the sense of touch can speak. So, there is a description in Nectar Devotion of Krishna's genitals, and it says they're short. He has short genitals. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, there it is. Okay, Freddie again, I'm afraid to look. Krishna is always enjoying his pastimes with his pure devotees through the transcendental senses, and thus gives pleasure to the senses of the devotees as well. This looks like sense gratification. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah, it is, because Krishna has senses. The kind of sense gratification that is to be able to discriminate between is when the devotee is interested in their own senses without Krishna. As soon as they do that, then they're stuck in the material body, the material concept of life. Because it's without Krishna. And that's an illusion. Certainly the illusory energy, I am this body. But when there's Krishna, it's Krishna's senses, then automatically the devotees are engaged in their loving relationship with Krishna, when Krishna is satisfied. At least that's my understanding. Does that help? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And there's a lot going on, in this environment, this Vraj environment. There's relationships and interactions between the devotees and between Krishna, and there's a lot going on, and it's all fun. It's all ecstatic. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, and that's the Radharani's service, is to arrange. All these things are there in the spiritual atmosphere of Vraj. That's her service, is to see Krishna's pleasure. But sometimes there's interference. You've got Abhimanyu and his family, trying to get in the way of Radha and Krishna's intimate pastimes. And that's all part of it. And it's all fun. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay, so to try and help with that a little bit, text 171. Hare Krishna, Govinda. Therefore, lust and love are quite different. Lust is like dense darkness, but love is like the bright sun. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Lust and love are quite, these are really heavy topics. People that have a lot of problems with lust, they really need to hear this. They need to hear these things so they can get to this other platform and not have to be dragged around by material lust. They'll be attracted. Hare Krishna. Therefore, lust and love are quite different. Lust is like dense darkness, but love is like the bright sun. Oh, Krishna. Whew. 172. Thus, there is not the slightest taint of lust in the gopis' love. Their relationship with Krishna is only for the sake of his enjoyment. So that sounds like selfless, right? Selfless love. No, it isn't. Because when Krishna is satisfied, the gopis are also satisfied because they're in relationship. Krishna's pleasure is their pleasure. And the reason Krishna is appearing as Sri Chaitanya is he notices they're enjoying 10 million times more than he is. Uh-oh, something's on the stove and the water ran out. I just heard something go on in the kitchen. Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah, microphone was plugged in. Oh, all kinds of problems here. Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. All right. No big catastrophe. So the house didn't burn down. Okay, thank you, Krishna. Hare Krishna. That's my favorite thing to do, is put something on the stove and then go away and forget about it. My favorite activity. I love to do that. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Tom, John, they're all here. Nice. Very well. Tom says, all is related to Krishna, so also my senses and genitals. Yeah, we're part of Krishna. It's like watering the root of the tree, everything flourishes. So Krishna is satisfied, everyone's satisfied. It's enacted out in offering prasadam, on the make that physical, gross endeavor, cooking something and then preparing it, putting it on, a plate, fancy plate, whatever plate, and placing it before a deity or a picture, and making the offering to Krishna, and saying the mantras and ringing the bells and the prayers, oh Krishna, please accept this, right? And then it's done through the spiritual master, because this is rules and regulations. The offering is made through the spiritual master because the disciple at that point most likely doesn't have much loving attraction for the Lord because they're practicing on this level of rules and regulations. So the spiritual master hopefully has that loving relationship with Krishna if they're a real spiritual master. And then, so the disciple makes the offering through the spiritual master who has that loving relationship with Krishna. And then Krishna accepts the offering through the devotee that has that. Radharani does like that also, that she'll recommend someone to Krishna. If she's pleased with them, she'll recommend someone to Krishna. So kind of like that. And then that offering, when it's accepted by Krishna in that way, if it's distributed, then everyone gets to taste, gets to experience what Krishna experienced. That's enacted out on this gross platform, you know. It's through time, you know, like takes time to make the offering, takes time to offer it, takes time to distribute it, so it appears to be, you know, past, present, and future. But in the spiritual world, there's no past, present, and future. It's all simultaneous, because there's only the present. So Krishna's, when he's satisfied, everyone's satisfied. And Krishna's experiencing this conjugal mood, then the devotees that are serving him in that way, they're also experiencing this conjugal mood. Simultaneous. There's no need for any separate endeavor. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, how many more verses? Let's see here. Well, this is a long chapter. Wow, Krishnadas has a lot to say about this. Wow. All right. I think I'm going to stop here. Hare Krishna. He's going to give some verses supporting. Well, yeah, he's going to give, what he does is he makes the point, and then he gives verses that support the what he just said. Hare Krishna. Yeah, he's going to start quoting from the 10th canto now. And then he's, yeah. I think I'm going to save that because it goes on for quite a ways. And there's some beautiful verses. But I'm going to save that. So, there we go. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Wow, that was fun. Hare Krishna. Krishna. All right. All right. You have to be a fool for Krishna, you know, is that saying? Fools enter where angels fear to tread. Krishna. Well, we have a good guide, so we're okay. We have a fearless prema warrior here in Srila Gaura Haridas, so just, you know, stay on the bandwagon. We'll be all right.